So in today's video we are going to be talking about foreign exchange and how to convert from one currency to another. So we're going to do this by going through a few examples. So for the first one, if €1 is equivalent to $1.13, what is €300 in dollars? So the easiest way to do this is to create a grid with a different currency on each side. So on the left here we're going to have euro, and on the right we're going to have dollars. So the first thing that we're going to write in this grid is the exchange rate. So we have €1 is equivalent to $1.13. So once we have that, we can move on to converting our amount, which in this case is €300. So when you are doing currency exchange like this, the thing that you need to check is that in this exchange rate, you need to have the 1 on the same side as the value that you've been given. So we have the 1 on the euro side, and the value we've been given, 300, is also in euro. So that's fine. So we can continue on with that. So we fill in our €300 on the euro side. Now in order to get from 1 to 300, all we have to do is multiply by 300. So we're going to do the same on the right hand side. Multiply by 300, and that will give us $339. And that is our final answer for this question. So €300 is equivalent to $339. So now let's look at an example that has an extra step in it. So for this question, if €1 is equivalent to 0.88 British pound, what is £500 in euro? So again, we're going to start off with our grid. So we have, in this case, euro on one side and pound sterling on the other. So again, the first thing we fill in is our exchange rate. So we have €1 is equivalent to 0.88 pound. Now, the amount that we are given is 500 and it is in pound. But our 1 in our exchange rate is on the euro side. So that's a problem. So the first thing we need to do is get a 1 on the pound side. So in order to do that, we can divide the 0.88 by 0.88, because anything divided by itself is going to give you 1. But if we're dividing by 0.88 on the right, then we need to divide by the same on the left. So we're going to divide the 1 on the euro side by 0.88 as well. And that's going to give us 25/22, which we're just going to leave as a fraction. So now we have our 1 on the pound side, which is what we need because our amount is given to us in pound. So we can fill that in on the right hand side as well. So we have 500. And again, to get from 1 to 500, we multiply by 500. And what we do on the right, we have to do on the left. So we'll multiply by 500 on the euro side as well. And if you calculate that out, it will give you 568.18. And that is our final answer in euro. So £500 sterling, in this case, is equivalent to 568.18 euro. So, doing another example, if £1 is equivalent to €1.40, change £240 into euro. So again, we start off with our grid. In this case, we have pound on one side and euro on the other. The first thing we fill in is our exchange rate. So we have £1 is equivalent to 1.40 euro. And now our amount is given to us as £240. And we have our 1 on the pound side. So we can carry on. So we have 240. Now to get from 1 to 240, we multiply by 240. So what we do on one side, we have to do on the other. So we multiply 240 by 1.40, and that will give us €336. And that's our final answer. Now doing one more example. If £1 is equal to €1.30, change €65 into pound. So again, we make our grid. We have pound on one side, euro on the other. The first thing we fill in is our exchange rate. So we have £1 is equivalent to €1.30. Now the amount that we've been given is €65, but the 1 is on the pound side. So first we have to divide so that we can get a 1 on the euro side. So we have 1.30 on the euro side. So to change that to a 1, we divide it by itself. So we divide by 1.30, and that will give us a 1. But what we do on one side, we have to do on the other. So we divide the 1 on the pound side by 1.30 as well. And that will give us 10/13 as a fraction. Now we have our 1 on the euro side, so we can also fill in our amount, which is 65. And in order to get from 1 to 65, we multiply by 65. And again, what we do on one side, we have to do on the other. So we multiply 65 by 10/13, which will give us £50, which is our final answer. €65 in this question is equivalent to £50 sterling. So that is how you convert from one currency to another. Sometimes you have 2 steps, sometimes you have 1. It depends on which way the exchange rate is given to you. But that's everything you need to know. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.